Hi everyone, it's been a minute. As of today, it has been, like 6 months? I know for a fact it's been 6 months. My last video was in November. There have been so many of you like messaging me on Instagram, asking me like, oh, when are you making another video? Like, where you at? When I tell y'all these last 6 months have been the biggest roller coaster, it has been the biggest roller coaster, I promise. This isn't like a fun video and I'm already finna cry thinking about it. So the main thing that really caused me to stop making videos was that my dad was killed on December 12th of last year, and today is his birthday. June 4th is his birthday. I'm having a really hard time like dealing with it. I'm having a really hard time grieving, and he would have been 36 today. Okay. The day before he died, I remember my stepbrother, he had posted a picture on his Instagram story of the guy who shot my dad. So I seen the picture on my brother's Instagram story and I just commented on it like nothing. I'm just like, yo, like who the heck is this? Because the dude looked like mad stupid in the picture. So I was like, who is this? And he told me the guy's name. I'm not going to say anybody's name, nicknames, none of that in this video because it's a lot. He told me who it was and I was like, yo. So then he ended up telling me how the guy had like pistol whipped my dad, hit him across the head with his gun. And at that time, like when he told me that, I was freaking out of my mind. I'm asking him like, yo, like what's going on? Is my daddy okay? Like is he good? So after that point, you know, like we stopped texting a little bit, and you know, the rest of the day went by and I told my mom what happened. You know, she was like worried as well. So by the time the nighttime came, I think I ended up texting him again, you know, just checking on my dad to make sure he was straight. That night, I remember like me and like my whole household, my family that I live with, you know, we were all just kind of sitting around, and like when I tell y'all, like you can feel it in the atmosphere, and I don't know if it's just like one of those like feelings of discernment or a spirit of discernment, like people say, like when you can feel when something is gonna happen, whether it's good or bad. And that night, like everybody in the house was just like so drained, and of course we didn't know why or whatever. And I just remember sitting back like I can't put my finger on it, but something wrong. I had to get up, play with Kaylani, and get my mind off of whatever the heck that I felt was going on. I just remember, you know, trying to get myself out of that mood, and you know, my baby always make me happy type thing. The night just went on, we all went to sleep, and fast forward a couple hours, I think it was maybe around like 5:40 something when I got the first phone call. So when I seen, you know, the call pop through, you know, like I'm a super light sleeper now, but like I felt my phone buzzing. So I get up and I look at it. I'm like, yo, like why is she calling me? You know, like for one, if she want to talk to me, she'll text me. But for two, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Like I can talk to you later. I'll call you back tomorrow type thing. I ignored it and I went to sleep. I went back to sleep. Then I seen another call come through and I'm just like, okay. So I think I declined the second call and I went back to sleep. An hour later I wake up. I don't know if I had like a bad dream or something, but I just kind of remember like jolting up out of my sleep, because I think like, I don't know, like if y'all can like think about real life stuff while you're having a dream, or like current situations while you're having a dream. But I kind of think that's what it was. And like in my dream I remembered like, oh, she called me. So I jumped up and I was like, hey, like let me call her back. I think I was confused when I woke up and I was just like, did she actually call me, or was that a part of my dream? So I get up, I grab my phone and I go look back and I'm like, okay, she did call me.
Afternoon. Celebrate the start of the weekend with your Alexa routine. Hope you have a good one.
Alexa, stop. And I call her back. And you know, I'm just like, hey, hello, like what's going on? I would like what's up, or whatever. And like literally by the tone of her voice and what she was saying, I knew something was wrong. So you know, I'm asking like, what's going on? And she like, Dede, I need you to give the phone to your mama. I need to speak to your mama. And I was like, okay, what's going on though? And she was just like, baby, I need you to get the phone to your mama. So I'm sitting there, and automatically my mind jumped to one of my brothers, and I was like, God, like please let everything be okay, like protect my brothers, protect my daddy type thing, or whatever. And I remember feeling so scared. Like I'm just sitting there, I'm going back and forth with her for maybe like 2 minutes until I got up to go and get a phone to my mom. So I'm just like, yo, like what's going on? Like talk to me, please. And she just like, I need to talk to your mama. At the time, I didn't think that anybody had died. Where my mind was at was somebody hurt somebody in the hospital. Somebody got in a car, like in a car wreck or something. That's where my mind was at. Nowhere did death come into my mind. At this point, I'm trembling, and I go in my mama room and I wake her up. My mama kind of deep sleeper, so I had to shake a couple times. And I'm like, mama, like I need you to get up or whatever. And like when she kind of started like waking up or whatever, I was like, hey, so and so on the phone, my stepmom on the phone, and she want to talk to you or whatever. And she was like, what? I was like, she want to talk to you. So mama get up and she grabbed the phone. She, you know, she's sitting there talking or whatever. She like, hey, what's going on? And at that point, I couldn't hear what she was saying. Cause I couldn't hear what she was saying. My mama was talking or whatever, and all I remember was seeing my mama's face, because she was like, what? Oh my God. And I'm sitting there, and when I heard my mama say that, like my heart just started to like break, because I'm like, something is wrong. You know, my mama she jump up and she rush, like she go in her restroom, like she pushes the restroom door kind of cracked a little bit. So I'm standing there, I'm trying to listen, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm pacing back and forth because I don't know what's going on. Mama come out the restroom from out her closet, and I'm like, mama, like what's going on? And she said, Dede, your daddy is dead. At that time, like as soon as she said it, like I feel like my body got so weak, and I fell on the floor just screaming and crying. And when my mama said those words, I'm just like, it's not real. It's not real. Like it's not no way he did. Like he ain't never ever. All I'm gonna say is my daddy was always prepared for anything. You know, like it was never a time when I felt like, oh, you know, like he didn't know what he was doing, like he couldn't watch shots and stuff, like he couldn't take care of himself type thing. I'm sorry. It's just like saying those words out loud. Oh, I'm sorry, my mama had called. You know, it's just like saying those words like make it real, and like I feel everything the same exact way I felt it when I found out. Screaming and I'm crying and I'm hyperventilating. Like y'all, I legit had a panic. I had a really bad panic attack that night. Well, that morning. So recently, to my knowledge, the guy that shot my dad was arrested, and when I found out, like initially when everything first happened, I found out who it was. It was like, yo, like when I met you, you know, you were hugging me and like, oh, it's so nice to meet you and all that. And, you know, this is the person who gave me my middle name, you know, like he had a part in naming me. Like he is a part of who I am. I'm Ardesia Quintaviana Potts, you feel? And I've been so like hell-bent on wanting to change that so bad, but at the same time, like y'all, my only reason for keeping my middle name for what it is because my daddy would joke around and he would call me Aqua. Like, I don't even know if it makes sense. I'm gonna like put the words on here or something, but he would joke around and call me Aqua. Like he'd see me and be like, hey, Aqua, because it's my initials AQP. Literally the only reason I have not went through with getting a name change. So the person who killed him was his best friend. the person that, you know, this was a guy that he knew longer than I was alive, and I'm 20 years old now. Somebody that you used to be so close to, somebody that hugged on me, named me. It's just like, all right, over something dumb. And I'm not even going to get into the reason that it happened, because there's so many missing puzzle pieces to my dad's death. There's like so many things that are like, how did this even come about? What led up to this? You feel? And like, I'm not gonna get into it because it's a lot that I don't know, and I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to start up anything by even talking about what I know, so I'm not gonna do that. It was a really, 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 really emotional morning, an emotional night, all of that. So I ended up going to my granny's house, my dad's mom's house. As soon as I get there, I get out the car and I see my uncle, and I'm just sitting there and hugging him and crying for like maybe a good 5-10 minutes, just crying and crying. Like, it's, you know, I went in the house, you know, spoke to people, and I'm just sitting there, you know, and I seen my granny, and like, I couldn't even begin to imagine what my granny was feeling, you know. And it was a lot, y'all. That it was a lot for her, it was a lot for everybody. And you know, like, I'm sitting there and she calling people, different people calling her, and she just saying the same thing over and over again. Fast forward to the funeral. It was 3 weeks later, 3 weeks after he died, and it was put off for different reasons. But like, it was hard. It was like really, 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 really hard to like get up that morning, get dressed, take my hair, like, you know, fix my hair and all that. It's like, it's not like I'm going out to do something fun, you know. Like, getting there, I was so nervous. I was beyond nervous, because I'm like, how am I supposed to go in there and look at him? How am I supposed to go in there and face him? Like, I don't know. And it's crazy because like that, like, it was nowhere in my mind. Nowhere in my mind did I ever think or imagine that the next time I saw my dad in person would be laying in the coffin. Like, last time we had saw each other was January 4th of 2020. It was hard to go in there and just see his cold body and touch his face, and like, not, and knowing like he's not gonna open his eyes. Like, as soon as we walked in, the way that the building was set up, it's like you gotta go through the hallway before you get to the main like the main room where the coffin is and where the funeral is held, well, was held. And you know, like, I'm standing back there, and I could see his shirt, the shirt that he had on. And I was so nervous, because I'm like, if I walk in and if I get closer and I touch him, it's gonna make it real, you know. And you know, like, I'm sitting there, I'm just standing there, I mean, and my heart was just broken, because I'm like, God, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. I don't know why I even have to go through this. I don't know why this had to happen. And like, like those 3 weeks before the funeral, I just remember questioning God so much. Like, why, over and over and over again. Like, now I have a better understanding, I guess, but it's still like, why did it happen? You know, like, I don't want to question God. I know I'm not supposed to question like the things that he allows, or when it's somebody's time to leave this world, but like, I didn't understand it. Like, eventually I ended up walking in, and I get closer and I see his face, and it's like, he didn't look anything like what I remembered. And I guess that helped a tiny bit, but it was the fact that, like, I know who that is. I know exactly who that is, but it's like, that's just his body, his spirit, the person that he was. They not in there, you feel? It's like, I don't even know how to explain the emotions that I was going through, because it was so many of them piled up. And like, I just remember like rubbing his face, and I'm touching his chest. Like, I'm so gentle with him, you know. And I'm touching his chest, and and I'm touching his neck and his beard and his hair and his face, and it's like every little detail. It's like every little detail that I didn't pay attention to before. It's like, yo, and I guess what it was that really like made me realize like my daddy is dead is because I'm sitting there and I'm looking at his nose. I'm like, that's my daddy's nose. Like, that's his ears. And it may sound weird and funny to think like what you touching the ears for? Because it's like, he used to hear with them ears. He used to smell with that nose. He used to look around with them eyes, and like, he can't do that anymore. Me standing over him, over his lifeless body, is just, it was gruesome for me, because it's like the things that, you know, we take for granted on a daily basis, things that we do and don't even realize, it's like, that's gone. He doesn't get to do that anymore. It got to the point like they had to pull me away from him, and I just remember like feeling like I don't want to leave him. Go sit back down, and time passed. Other people coming in, viewing the body, and you know, eventually the funeral gets started. So the funeral starts, and like when it comes time for the family to walk in, you know, we left out, all got in the line and walked in and sat down like towards the front, and I was on the first row, and I'm sitting in between my brother and my dad's father, and like where I was sitting, I had a perfect view of him.